All right, hello everyone. My name is Eric Harris here, community manager here with your April update. Got a lot coming down the pipe, so stay tuned, be ready, and definitely want to just get you geared up for a lot of changes that are about to come. A lot of good things that have come for the month of March, and things you definitely want to be aware of. So stay tuned and let's get this thing rolling. All right, so welcome to April. This has been a lot going on in the community, a lot going on in our products across the Nintex platform. Definitely want to keep you up to date on a lot of those things. And so let's jump right into it. If you use Salesforce and you use DocGen, Draw Loop inside of Salesforce, then there are some things that you definitely want to be aware of. One of the biggest things that I can tell you that came through is we updated or we've enhanced DocGen and make it possible for you to use it and leverage it with your Salesforce Process Builder and Flow Designer. And that's a huge thing because before you had to do different types of automation, but now we are allowing you, if you have a process builder or a flow, then you can actually tap into and trigger a DocGen from that. That gives you the best of just automating what you're already doing and linking it with the document generation so you can continue to keep that automation going and make it dynamic for your users. You don't have to rebuild it anywhere else, just doing it right there on top of the Salesforce platform and leveraging DocGen for that. That's a huge benefit and something that I think is awesome for a lot of you. Also, we've done some things with DocuSign as well, enabling people to do more around a DocuSign editor. So if you have a document you want to send it out, and the person needs to update something such as a name or an email address or something when they're doing the signing process, you have that ability to do that within DocuSign, and those things roll through with the document package as well. So really good updates there. It's something I definitely think you should be aware of. So really cool. If you have any questions about that, feel free to come to the community, look at the Nintex Salesforce forum and post your questions right there. We have our product manager and product marketing managers, as well as other users, technical evangelists, subject matter experts in the community that are there to answer your questions and help you out. So looking forward to that. All right, for you gurus out there who love process automation, love process documenting, and getting change management into your organization, you're using ProMap. And if you're using ProMap, there are some good updates that we have for you. So one of the big ones is the ability to share your process with other people. And that means that the same process, you can have it in one place, share with another organization. They'll get the update. So as soon as you make an update or change, it's like that update will flow right into their organization so they can stay abreast of what things are happening and how that process works. So think about it as if you're like a vendor, and your airports is probably one of the easiest examples that I can think of, where you're a vendor and you have other vendors at that airport location that have to do food service, it could be the sanitation or whatever, where you want to give them their processes, but you want to centrally house those. You would do those updates inside of your ProMap tenant, and that information will flow down so they have access to it, but they don't necessarily get the changes. So it keeps them abreast with what's happening and things like that. Also, search improvements, the ability to actually search based on text and any of those things. So if you have any questions about ProMap, those updates, definitely take a look at it. Come to the forum in the community and post your questions there. We have product managers, product marketing managers, and people involved and ready to answer your questions and help you get started and take advantage of the updates that are coming inside of ProMap. So we're really looking forward to that and seeing what people do with a lot of those things out there. So one of the biggest things that is coming out, you'll notice some more information coming about that in the community, is our responsive designer for forms in Office 365, Nintex Workflow Cloud, and we're bringing that on-prem in the near future. What we're doing here is we're revamping the way we've taken a lot of learnings from our Workflow Cloud, which has responsive forms. We also have responsive forms in Office 365 and on-prem, but they're still using kind of a different designer, put it that way. Well, we decided to enhance that a lot more and bring that designer right back into the canvas. And what that looks like is a huge dramatic change, but it's a good change because it allows for faster design. One of the biggest things that I can attest to is the rules engine. Being able to do just really complex rules to make that form do exactly what I want it to do is one of the hugest benefits as possible. But some other benefits is a single code base, simplifying some of the things you're trying to do. You don't need to use JavaScript for a lot of things. I'm I'm actually working on trying to build a library of what people used to use JavaScript, what you can use a rule for. So definitely, if you have any questions about that, post what you would do with JavaScript, and let's see if we can make a comparison for that. That will be a huge community effort, and something I want to crowdsource. But other than that, some of the other things is theming, the fact that the form is responsive. You can do tabs or pages. There's a host of things there. Also, anonymous forms. There's a lot of things there that are possible now because we have new forms. But if you want more information about that, come to the community, look under user groups. You'll see a group called Responsive Forms AP. Take a look at that, join into the conversation, look at the limitations, look at the FAQs for sure, and get involved. One of the other things is a formula builder. We've been working on that for a while because we know a lot of people want to do some really complex things, whether it be calculations, using regex, or querying the user, actually not the user profile, but the query URL to actually get data out. So passing through the URL in the form to actually pre-populate a form. There's a host of things that people can do with formula builder, and we've enhanced that design. So give us some feedback on that as well. Take a look at the new responsive forms designer when you get your hands on it, and give us your feedback. We have to have your feedback because we want to make it something that you use and something that helps you as well. Alrighty, so I'm going to bounce into Nintex Workflow Cloud really quick, and I want to show you a couple of updates and things that I think you should pay attention to. One of the first things I want to do is actually bounce out here is get this here. If you go to the little tab at the top and then you click on what's new, you'll find a really helpful kind of update of things that are happening inside the product. Not only are we putting out the release information there, but like a did you know, of course, this is one of the really coolest things that I like about it, is the fact that we have information driving right here inside the product that help you understand how to use certain things. One of the things is a recent feature that came out was the authenticated start forms, and that's something that I think a lot of people were struggling with, trying to understand, like, what does this mean and how do I use it? Well, it's quite simple. One of the things with authenticating start forms is two ways to do it. You have users within your tenant that already have access, and you want only those that have, say, a participant or a designer or an administrator right inside of your platform, inside of your tenant, to have access to this form. Then you will use the authenticated users in this tenancy only. If you want to make a public URL, so a form that they click on a URL, so whether it be embedded on your website or it's on a button somewhere, or you send an email, then that form has the email has a link to the form. If you want to use that, then you want to use anyone from the form URL, anyone with the form URL. That means that they have access to the URL, they can actually access the form and submit data. That's the way that works. Some of the other things that you want to be able to do here is also authentication, and then using Nintex Mobile. So our Nintex Mobile app, or App Studio, allows you to actually customize the forms that people can fill out via the app. Really great idea there, because it allows you to actually enhance the experience on the mobile app and route that straight through to the workflow and then off to whatever system you want. Gives you a lot of flexibility there. And with the authenticated users, you have to have authentication to do that within Nintex Mobile. The reason for that is that the mobile actually captures the authentication as well, and it binds those two together, so it allows you to send that information or capture information from the user so that we know who that person is that's actually sending that information. So that's the reason why you cannot do that with just anyone in the form URL. It has been authenticated user, because Nintex Mobile also forces authentication on that. So just keep that in mind. Let's look and see what else is out here. I know one of the other things that came out was the collections operations course. I went and looked at that. Something, if you've done anything with collections, I mean anything with collections, whether you're using regex or you're using a looping or anything with collections, this is a course that you need to pay attention to. And the reason why I say that is because it's helpful you to understand what is the data, what is the structure, how does it work inside the platform, and it helps you to actually build better, more robust workflows that don't fail because you didn't take something in consideration. And so I highly recommend that course. I know the people that designed the course. I went through the course myself. I highly recommend it. It's something that's helpful in understanding how to do collections. I'm seeing it in the community. A lot of people are asking questions around, I'm trying to get this data out and I can't manipulate this, or I see this structure here. A collection is different from a dictionary, so keep that in mind. A collection and a dictionary are different. This is around collections, and it's something that will really help you start to understand, what am I doing with this data, how am I doing it, and how do I get my data out so I can do something with it in the workflow. So definitely take advantage of this course. If you want to find out more about it, there's two ways to get into it. One, you can really click on this link here and it'll open up in learn.nintex.com, or just say the URL, type in learn.nintex.com, and you can log in and access this course. Just look up collection operations for Nintex Workflow Cloud, and that should populate for you. So really good information there on things you need to know. If you have any information about the release notes or things like that, simply click on the links here and it'll take you to the community where we house our release notes on Nintex Workflow Cloud and a lot of other products. So you can actually see what happened, what's changed, and get more information about those things as well. If you have any questions about it, you can simply bounce over to the forum, and then in this case, Nintex Workflow Cloud, because that's where we are, and you can post your question right here under Create Post. You have to be a logged in user to do that. So definitely take advantage of that information. Post your questions here, and if you have any real immediate emergencies, you can hit up support or contact support. But I will say post your questions here first. There's a lot of people in the community that are willing to answer your questions and help you get started as soon as possible. So really hope you take advantage of some of those things. Take a look at Nintex Workflow Cloud, what's happening, what we're doing, what we're changing there, and take advantage of a lot of the things that are happening around the Nintex platform when it comes to Workflow Cloud. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about Nintex for Office 365 really quick. We have a lot of users out there. A lot of people migrated from on-prem to 365. We're going to leave migrations for a completely different topic. But when it comes to migrations, not migrations rather, but Office 365, there's a couple of updates and things that we've done. So things that are new. You can go to, in Office 365, go to Information, click on What's New, and it'll tell you some of the things that we've changed recently. One of the latest changes is action availability. And let's stop and pause for a second and think, what does this mean for Nintex? So we have a lot of workflow actions inside of our design canvas that allows you to design workflows using those actions. Well, there are certain organizations that don't allow you to do certain things based on their security policies. Nothing wrong with that. It's great. What we've done is added an ability for you to actually, as an administrator, to govern what actions are available inside of your tenant. These are tenant-wide settings. So if you don't want someone using, for example, we don't want anyone doing something with Bitly, then you come to settings. So you can go, how do you get here? Let's walk through this really quickly. You can go to site contents. This is one of the easiest ways to do it. Open up site contents and you scroll all the way down till you get to the workflow app, and then you click on that. That will open up what we consider the workflow gallery. You can also do that from the list or the library area as well, but doing it from the workflow gallery is the way that I typically do it, from site settings to get to the workflow gallery rather. So here, click on settings. You would then see, if you have the right permissions, you see action availability. If you don't see this, then you're probably not an admin, and I encourage you to reach out to someone. But click on action availability, and then you'll see a list of all the actions that you can then do or toggle on and off, as they say. So here's Bitly. Say for example, we don't want people creating Bitly URLs because we want to make sure that they're using the correct URLs for their links or whatever. So we could disable that. That action will no longer show up as something that they can use within the platform. See some other ones that we can do. Say for example, we don't want anyone doing MailChimp because we don't want to send any data to MailChimp. We want to automate that in a different manner. Or say strike iron, for example. So we can disable these, and what this does is it basically hides it from the design canvas. So that's it. You want to make sure you come down here, hit save, and that will actually save it off. So if I were to log in as another user, so I'm going to do that. I'm in a different user. This user's name is Jane. I'm going to click on the workflow. Now Jane also is not an administrator. She's not a workflow publisher. And so what this means is, let's go back here really quick. I'll show you that as well. So in workflow publishers, it's an admin has the ability to set up who can and cannot publish a workflow. So for this case, I'm just going to add Jane here, and then I'll refresh the other page. Jane D there. I'm going to add her as a workflow publisher. Now she'll have the ability to publish a workflow. And if I were to go back to it, if I were to refresh this page, we would see that she now has the ability to, or this little permissions thing goes away. So one of the really interesting things about it, the difference between publishers, participants, designers, etc., that are inside the workflow, things that we're doing to enhance governance and security for our platform. Once this loads up, so get this here, create a list workflow. Now you see that that's gone away, but I'm going to look for bit.ly. So if I type that in correctly, bit.ly, it's not there anymore. Alrighty, what about strike iron? Interesting. So it's not there anymore, and of course it's not there because I disabled it. But if I go back here and I want to enable it again, so I'm going to add bit.ly back, I'm going to save it. This just allows you again to manage the actions that are available. I'm more than likely going to have to refresh this to get that to pick up any changes. And then this is really helpful information though, because it allows you to better manage what your users can and can't do. Just communicate it with them. That's one thing that I will ask, is if you do these changes, you communicate it with your users. So if I come back here in bit.ly, there we go. So now we see that actions available, and as a user they can drag it and use it inside of the canvas. Really cool functionality there, something that again helps with the governance piece, also helps with just managing Nintex across your platform. So if you have any questions about Office 365, about workflow, what will I always say? Definitely come to the community. I'm going to click no thanks on that. Come to the community, go to the correct forum, Nintex for Office 365, and post your question here. I do my best to get through and answer a lot of questions. There are a lot of other people that are answering questions as well, and we're here to help you. So come to the community, post your questions here if you have any questions, and definitely reach out. If you have any answers, if you find a question that you know an answer to, click on unanswered post. If you know an answer to something, come in and answer it. It's great that we share knowledge and information, because I don't know everything and I can't often answer all the questions, but there are people out here like you that do. So if you find something, you figure something out, come to the community and help share your knowledge with other people. It helps make the community better, helps make everyone else better, and it helps get you to the solution that you need, and someone else gets to the solution that they need as well. So with that being said, thanks for watching the April updates. A little bit longer than normal, but it's a lot of information out here that's useful for you. I hope you've taken a liking to it. Have any questions, post it in the community, post it under this blog for the April news updates. And if you have any more questions about anything with Nintex, just hit me up, let me know, and I'll be glad to give you some more information and insight, or answer your questions as best as I can, or find you to connect you with the right person that can answer that question for you. Until next time, have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next month's update for Nintex and the Nintex community. Have a good one.